up for everything, and he
Well,
was the best guy.
Fatma, isn't it nice to know that when you're around teachers and teachers who really like their job and or people who just educators who like what they're doing and they step forward and just volunteer.
Oh,
This is, that wonderful aspect of teaching, of no, really liking the job is I think it's important. But as you're going to talk about, Fatma, it's sometimes we have stress.
we do, and that is where we just hang on and we make sure that okay, we just buckle up and we go like, right, let me just deal with this one thing at a time, but I'm going to do it. That kind of an attitude.
Mm. So I think you're ready to share your screen now. We're live on
Sure.
YouTube. So
Sure,
yeah.
I'm going to share my screen. So here it is.
Yes.
So I'm going to
Cool.
put it up on a slideshow. All right. So here I am.
Good.
Okay, I'm
Here we
just
go.
going to pin myself as well. Okay. Ah, just when my coffee is at the door, but until he calls, I'm actually good. So today we are, okay, first of all, Assalamualaikum and good evening and welcome to the IDICAST Ramadan series. And thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad, for actually inviting me over. I really appreciate it. And the fact that I'm the second speaker in the series makes me even feel more privileged. That is very interesting. And at the same time, Ramadan Mubarak to everybody attending this event throughout the world. It is a time to actually self-reflect, to rethink, to replan your strategies. At least that's what happens with me in most cases. I don't know. I have most of the people around me, I wouldn't say complain, but I do find them very much down because they're fasting. And it's absolutely normal. The first couple of days are very difficult. I totally understand that. But at the same time, I personally feel over the past 6 years, I mean, it has been such an interesting thing to note that for me personally, Ramadan is the peak productive season, believe it or not. Although every year I take a vow to myself and I tell myself, okay, this Ramadan, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to relax. I'm going to focus on my spiritual agenda that I usually have on board. And I do that. It's not like I don't do it. I do that. But then at the same time, this month, magically, for me, it's magic. Ramadan for me is always magic, where I feel the energy level is more than the usual days, which is very interesting because Ramadan only comes once a year. And then that 1 month just puts everything back into place. So if that happens for you, great, fantastic. If not, you, I mean, you can always do that. There's nothing that you can't do about it. So as Mr. Muhammad said, I'm the president of KSOL TESOL. I'm also the vice president of Meet Act Center. We are responsible for teacher training programs, professional development, delivering pathway courses, student recruitments, and much more. At the same time, I'm a Cambridge certified trainer and an accreditation consultant. So let's quickly take a quick look at the chat window. Okay. And I would like you to use the chat window and tell me how are you feeling right now? Okay, quickly, we will just take a minute. How are you feeling? Yes, everybody. Do you want me to name all of you? So we have Fatin, we have Mawusi, we have Muna, Muhammad, Ahmed, Nisma Ibrahim, Nurhan, Radwa, Sarah, Yasser, Dr. Emmy, Lamia. Yes, can you please tell me, how are you feeling right now? Okay. Okay. Dr. Ron has put up an emoji. That's very interesting because that's something we have on our way. Okay. Lonely. Oh, it's okay. Um, All right, so let's take a few more. Okay, relieved, yes. In what way we will check. Drained, I'm not surprised. A little bit bored. I was on that front after Maghrib. Okay, but okay, battery is about to die. We all of us we feel that after iftar, isn't it? All of us feel like that, right? Sleepy, happy. Okay, Nasma is happy. So one happy face lifts up the entire event or the entire session, right? One happy face. Oh, Sarah with a happy face. Dr. Ron with a happy face. We've got a few happy faces. I'm sure we can nail this. Okay. And it's absolutely fine. Take a deep breath, everybody. Take a deep breath and then exhale. One more time. Take a deep breath and exhale. Now, the trick about these deep breathing exercises is as much as you inhale, your exhalation process should be complete. Almost like whatever air, the intake of air that you are basically breathing in, you just breathe it out. Okay, one more time. Let's just do it one more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, just 3 times. Imagine you don't really need to have a separate slot of doing something. You can always do whenever you're feeling very stressed, 3 times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and then exhale. It's going to calm you down. Your heart rate is going to lower a bit and you're going to be relaxed. Okay, so that's my stress busting tip. I know most of us over here again are always women, and we women we do so much. We look at the outside world. We manage the inside world in our home places. So we are working during the day, and when we come back, we're also cooking for family. We're spending time with family. Okay, that's good to go. All right, now my coffee is here, and my day does not begin without coffee. So I'll just take 2 minutes. But until then, tell me which one in the chat window, and I'll just follow up with you in a bit. Just 2 minutes, and I'll be there with you. Okay. Meanwhile, Dr. Ron, would you mind talking to our beloved attendees until then, until I come back? I know you do a very good job on that one. Are you there?
I am.
Yeah. I know you can do this for me. So please go ahead while I go and get my coffee because that guy's driving me crazy. I need to go get my orders.
What do you want me to just read this right here, or
You can read it and you can just chit chat with them until I come back. Just 2 minutes.
Sure.
Right?
Well, the first one there says, I love my new job. I can be creative in my class preparation. I get along really well with my students, and I really appreciate the responsibility. There's nobody looking over my shoulder all the time when I'm at work. It's me and my class. Well, I think a lot of us sort of feel that way. Yeah. When we start a new job, we like it. Mohammed, you had started a new job recently. How did you feel when?
Well, at the very beginning, things were very overwhelming to me because, I'm responsible for maybe 21 teachers in 2 divisions, 2 subjects. So it's a very big responsibility. But over time, I made friends with my teachers. Yes. So we're one family, we're one team. So I tried first to start with their problems, their needs, and then I made a plan to work on that. But something one that has
But is that
happened to me
stressful?
recently.
Is that stressful?
It's very stressful to be honest, because
Hmm.
the more responsibilities you have, the more stressful you are. That's a
Hmm.
fact. But I
Hmm.
have one thing I'd like to add here, because one of my teachers um had a problem and she couldn't make it for the past week.
Hmm.
She didn't come to school, and I had to cover her sessions. And believe it or not, I liked her students, and I don't want to get back to being, a manager again. I'd like to go there and teach. So this is where I think I get the energy to keep moving on. The impact you have on the students, the impact you have on other people. That's how I see things. You know, yes, responsibilities make things stressful, exhausting, draining. But sometimes, if you're really passionate about what you're doing, I think this would really help, right?
Well, and again, we're talking about stress, and we wanted to, I think, deal with this because I remember talking to Fatima about that when she talked about this last year during Ramadan. And that is that, and in this last sentence here, these two last sentences, when I'm at work, it's me and my class. And yes, I feel so motivated when I'm in the classroom because I feel I can control it. And I can control the energy levels and avoid stress. Sometimes I find that I have more stress when I'm outside the classroom than in the classroom. Yeah. So I have fun in the classroom with my students. I love it. But, even then preparing for a class can get, stress. I had to go back to work, Fatma, today. I had my classes today.
Mhm,
I have several Muslims in my class, and they're fasting.
mhm.
And one of my students said today, "Can we leave a little bit early? Because I'm a little bit tired." And you got to be empathetic because we don't know what people are going through a lot of times. But I know that Ramadan's in fasting, it's not easy, okay? So of course I have empathy. I personally can't fast because of health problems, but I empathize with people, and my answer was just, why would I even say no? Because I must respect people, respect their beliefs, respect what they're, what Ramadan is all about. Like you said, Fatma, it's
Mhm.
about reflecting. It's about, thinking about a lot of things. And, sometimes I wind up sitting there and we just wind up talking. I know it's an English class, but this is such a great time to exchange ideas and uh, be with people and them telling you their Ramadan. I think everybody has Ramadan stories.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Ron. So my coffee is here. So, there's another coffee chain next to my office, but I try to avoid that for my own reasons. So I had to get the local one because the local one's a bit far. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, so which one are you? Are we number one or number two? Can we just have quickly in the chat window, just the quick roll of numbers? Number one, right, Yasser. Is this my number one student talking? I'm just wondering.
Yep, it is
Oh,
I, your number
it,
one student.
it is I. Okay, Dr. Rod, here he is. Number one, just look at his number ones. I mean, they look so beautiful, don't they? I'm in between. I just bluntly love the fact that you're so honest about this because it is very normal for you to actually be in the middle. That's absolutely fine. Okay, but since most of us are ones and we've got Aya who is somewhere in the middle, don't worry about that. This got you covered. And but why does this happen? Why are we so stressed? Now, there are Ruba Kuwaiti. Oh my God, so nice to see you, Ruba. So nice. I'm seeing some familiar names here. There's no reason to not to be creative. Yes, you can always have a pathway of your own. And it is very interesting to see, when you love something, when you love what you do, okay, it is very difficult to actually reach to the point where you are, I'd say, stressed in a negative kind of way. You would have stress. There are two kinds of stresses, the healthy stress and the unhealthy stress. Healthy stress is something that you need every day. I mean, if I'm not stressed about, say, getting up in the morning on time, going to the office, meeting people, getting my priorities done, I mean, like, you do need that kind of push, okay? But when the push goes too far, that is when it becomes unhealthy. And there's several reasons as to why things or matters would appear unhealthy when it comes to stress. But sometimes when I've got a very interesting response when I'm overwhelmed with work, have no vacation. Oh, yes. That's the burnout we're talking about. And everybody needs that break. So right now, what is happening? Yes, positive strategy is okay, but not everything. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ron. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We do not need the unhealthy kind of stress. We need a positive work environment. So there are internal factors and external factors that affect the position of stress in your life, whether it is positive or negative, right? So when is it positive? When you've got good colleagues, a good working environment, you have a healthy mindset, and you are there to challenge yourself in a good way, right? The unhealthy stress is when you have a toxic work environment. Let's just admit some of us have really toxic work environments. When I hear the horror stories, it's actually very sad. And sometimes you've got toxic people around you, very demotivating people. Oh, Yasser has also got a very interesting comment there. He says that it's not the workload. I'm so glad you mentioned that. It is not the workload, but rather the organizational skills sometimes. Sometimes it's the energy. We are not able to delegate ourselves. Sometimes surprise stuff happens. Energy saving mode is good, Muhammad. Yes, and yes, Basma. If you're like me, sometimes we do push ourselves towards perfection. Now that can turn into unhealthy stress also sometimes. Toxic work environment can also lead to burnout. Exactly. Oh my God, I'm getting such interesting responses. I don't even need to go through my slides now anymore. Okay, so first, now that we've done some good breathing exercises, we've had some good discussions, we need to be actors sometime. It's like, fake it till you make it kind of a situation. That's very interesting, Ruba. It works. It works to an extent. Yes, that's what I do sometimes. All of us are different people, different kinds of people, different personalities. All of us have got, different stress coping mechanisms. So the way I cope with stress, is different with the way you cope with stress. My strategies might not work for you. Your strategies might not work for me. And in that case, it's absolutely fine. That is when you have to find out, which is why we insist on doing some self-reflection, understanding what works for you, because you do not want to reach to the point where the unhealthy stress actually starts impacting your health, which means you will suffer from sleeplessness, you would suffer from anxiety, you would suffer from depression, you'd suffer from high blood pressure, diabetes, etc., etc. So we've got a lot of that going on. What if they don't want to collaborate? It's okay, Mr. Ahmed. We do not have collaborators. Oh, Muhammad, that was a very, I don't know, was it a practical answer? Maybe
By
not.
the way, I'm his direct manager.
Okay, so what is he trying to say? That you don't collaborate?
No, he knows very well that I'm always supportive, to them. But he's talking about, his colleagues at work. Some teachers refuse to work with their colleagues.
Yes, we all have done, which is why the organizations are mainly responsible for something known as the soft skills, where, if you're going to look into the corporate companies. Okay, since I've worked with the corporate companies as well, and I still work with the corporate companies, it is interesting how they operate. And now the education system throughout the world is basically adopting their practices towards their own benefit. And one of the main aspects that I have seen very interesting in the corporate industry is where on day one, they actually have a workshop for all the new candidates where they run an orientation program and they run a soft skills program. In the soft skills program, we are looking into effective collaboration, excellent negotiation skills, persuasive skills, presentation skills, the skills that the company requires the employee to have in order to effectively administer or be able to carry out their tasks. So that was very interesting. Henceforth, people who are not willing to collaborate, well, let us all collaborate. Let's have a uniformity rather than one person insisting on collaboration. Let the whole organization be more involved towards this approach. A very holistic approach, if you understand what I mean. Okay. Another aspect that really affects the stress levels is the kind of mindset you have. We've got two kinds of mindsets, the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. I'm loving the interaction that's basically going on in the chat window. And trust me, as much as I'm focused on my presentation, I'm actually keeping an eye on the chat window as well. I tend to do that multitasking thing, and it's very interesting. New curriculum meeting needs you to, depends on collaboration. If you know, splendid, that's very nice. Exactly. They are the key to job satisfaction. Collaboration is the key to grow. Competition, we are no longer doing that anymore. Competition is old school. You want to be trendy, collaborate. You want to be the person that people will go to, collaborate. I cannot emphasize enough as to what collaborate leads to than what competition basically leads to. Competition is slightly toxic unless you're competing with yourself, right? That's the only time. That too to a certain degree or a certain extent. Oh yes, oh my God. Okay, the hindsight. Yes, there are people who know everything, but I do not claim to know everything. I talk about what I know I do well and what my best practices are, staying with a group of wonderful professionals who have taught me that with a growth mindset, I can always grow. And my failure does not title me to be a failure further. No, Yasser, I don't know everything. Come on, look at the tech stuff you got. You're a tech geek, right?
Can I say something about growth mindset and fixed mindset?
Yes, please.
I find that as many years as I've been doing teacher training, that when you go inside of like maybe a continuing professional development workshop like we just had in Jeddah, right before the beginning of Ramadan, and you can see the people, you can see from the way they participate that they have a growth mindset. And having a growth mindset, I believe, is one way to you just naturally avoid stress a lot of times because you don't see learning and professional development as a stressful thing because you're doing it willingly. Because of course, if you have a growth mindset, you do it willingly. It's the people who have a fixed mindset, I think, who might fall into more stressful situation because they're and I don't see the word change on the, oh, there it is. Well, I don't know, because fixed mindset people have a problem with change and different things and or people with different ideas. And that, as you have your picture here, they're facing each other. It looks like a face off of me against you. Okay. And that already can cause also, stress when you are confronted with a person with a fixed mindset because it's very hard to convince them sometimes that maybe they might need to change the way they're doing things in the classroom. So that can be a very difficult thing, but definitely I agree with you that having a growth mindset is a fantastic way to just even avoid stress and stressful situations and stressful people.
I believe it makes the coping aspect of the stress mechanism a lot more easier because you're able to embrace the solutions. You're able to adapt to the situation that you are currently in right now, rather than constantly trying to get things your way, with your idea. You're rather open to ideas and you are willing to try out new things and you are willing to take feedback which is constructive.
Oh,
So,
definitely. Yasser said something there that's really important too. This
mhm.
is how we've done it for the last 5 years. That kind of mentality,
Ah,
that kind of fits
mhm,
into that fixed mindset. That
mhm.
what they're really saying is uh, that they're not going to change.
Exactly. Either you do it my way or the highway kind of a thing. No, I mean, that basically we know is a toxic work environment we're talking about. And it's there. I wouldn't say it's not there. Most of us are working, in the toxic work environment. And then it is very hard then to maintain a growth mindset because in one way or the other, you are influenced by the fixed mindset people around you, like Basma just said, all of us want to be the growth mindset. I mean, why not? But then people around you would make you go through that way. So at some point, you would just have to go back, just rewind and go back to your mindset. And it's like a journey every single day. You may want to switch jobs. In that way, Yasser puts it really well. He says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, and reality is what doesn't kill you either disables you for life or causes post-traumatic stress syndrome. Yes, I've been there, done that, Yasser. So that's interesting. So know
Excuse me, can I
yourself.
ask you a question, Ms. Fatma, about the
Yes,
fixed mindset?
yes,
Uh,
please.
do they have the mindset people? Let
Mhm,
me say the
mhm.
fixed mindset people. Do they know that they have fixed mindset?
That is a very interesting question. However, the person who you were questioning the fixed mindset to would be better able to answer the question if he feels that he is a fixed mindset. Now, Basma had actually given a very interesting response where she said that all of us we believe that we are growth mindsets, but until you look really deep and hard. So, what are the things that make you look that like you are from the fixed mindset perspective? Is this? You are underrating yourself. You are demotivating yourself and you're demotivating others around you. So technically, your actions and your thought process that speaks whether you have fixed mindset or not. You can see my potential is predetermined. When I'm frustrated, I give up. I know so many people, who actually fall under this category. Although they may say, "Oh, we are growth mindset," but put them in a very tight situation, and you feel them giving them up. Yeah, you have them. You see them giving up. So that is when you realize that they're not very keen in finding other ways. Our job as educators is to find solutions. Don't take it to yourself. No, sometimes even I'm guilty as charged. Sometimes even I feel overburdened. Sometimes I feel I'm not good enough, especially post COVID. It has been quite a bit of a journey. I gave birth to my baby, and then a lot of hormones up and down. By the time I started coping with those hormones and I came back to the world, it was like, oh, I'm no good. So I believe all of us, we undergo those stages where we have that growth mindset and then we come to a fixed mindset and then we move back to the growth mindset. I think that's fine as long as you're making those changes. And at some point you would come across you would have yourself in this part, but that does not mean that you stay there. Your job is not to stay there. You unmute. Yes, I'm unmuted, Mohammed. It's okay. So our job as educators is to move away from them, which is why I keep telling my teachers. I mean, I train teachers in Saudi Arabia and Jeddah. I also go around in Dubai. I worked in Dubai. I've trained teachers in Bahrain, Qatar, Oman. Recently I delivered a workshop in Kuwait. So when I'm dealing with all of these different teachers, I tell them, you know what? Let's get together. Let's talk. Let's discuss and see what works for you. It might work for me. Let's discuss our issues together. So the fact that you're doing the let's part, right? That let's part allows you to explore options. And that is where the let's part leads you to collaboration, not I, me. Personally, no, that does not work. Even if you are the kind of person who is working solo, if you're working solo even, I highly suggest you use the word we. We encompasses more power. And at the same time, it also makes sure that you are there to seek out solutions, and there's somebody coming to your rescue and let them. We all of us, I mean, you can just go approach your mentor, for example. At least, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very good point I would like to stress on. Please have a mentor in your life who would be there with you and guide you. And that is the person who is going to help you grow with a growth mindset. Do not be under the mentorship of someone who has a fixed mindset. I've been there, done that, so I know it. Okay, we spoke about the external stresses and internal stresses already. So the external stresses are what? Your physical environment, people around you. If they do a lot of gossiping, backbiting, a lot of negative energy, please stay away from them. Rather than don't feel FOMO. Do you know what is FOMO? Can anybody tell me what FOMO is? I used to feel like that, but then I started quitting. I started opting for a peace of mind. What is FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Exactly. That's an acronym that's used by the Gen Z mostly, right? Oh dear. Oh, I feel FOMO about this. Oh, the fear of missing out. Oh, did I miss something? You didn't. If it was toxic, if it was negative, please, you did. You can just leave that and live on and move on with your life. And trust me, your life is so much better without that gossip. And then you've got the organizational stressors. One of the main points that was mentioned by Mr. Ahmed was when people, they don't want to collaborate with you. That is one of the issues we're talking about. Major life changes, pregnancy, birth, divorce, death. All of these are major life changes. And you have to cope with them, which is why, yes, yeah, so you do not you should remind that to yourself. You have the PGCE deadlines, not me. My job is just to evaluate your assignments. Okay. Yes, and so don't overly stress yourself. Deal with one thing at a time. And when you're talking about internal stresses, okay, as much as the environment is what we are looking into, you're also, if everything around you is okay, it's high time to focus on what is happening from the inside, your lifestyle choices, which means what are your dietary habits like? I'm not 100% saying I don't eat salad every single time, though I would love to, but I try to as much as possible. I may not have a healthy oatmeal breakfast, but I do try my level best to have my breakfast. I mostly skip breakfast, which is really wrong on so many different levels. But then lately, I've been working on this, So your lifestyle choices are number one, and you're also looking into your sleep. Again, let's get one fact straight when you're looking into the lifestyle choices and sleep. Do you need 8 hours of sleep? If you can, great. If you can't, don't feel bad about it. I know people who unnecessarily stress. They unnecessarily stress on not getting enough sleep because the book says that you need 8 hours of sleep. No, some people are not cut for 8 hours of sleep. Some people function very well on a 5-hour sleep. For instance, myself. For me, give me 5 hours, I'll probably nap. I'll take a power nap around like 20 minutes. It might be in the car. It might be in my office. It might be after I pray, after the prayer, I might just feel like, okay. Yes, Malik. Nice to see you, Malik. Malik Muhammad Shuraib. Thank you so much for coming and attending my session. And yes, stress can be tamed, and it's entirely up to you. But in order to tame your stress, you should know what is causing that stress. So when you know whether it's the external stressor or the internal stressor, you have a very good idea. Negative self-talk, I'm no good at nothing. I cannot just get this done. I mean, this is not, I mean, every single time you do negative self-talk, right? I'm not cut for this. I'm not, I'll never be able to do this. Whenever you give that negative self-talk to yourself, that is your road to PTSD, let me tell you that. And unnecessary anxiety, mind traps. Oh my God, I cannot stress enough on mind traps. Now, these mind traps are when you overthink from within, and you are just making so much of content right there that you feel like, oh my God, I just don't know where to go. And that's it. You lose the track of everything. And also your personality traits. Now, each person is different. So shall we take a look into the personality traits, shall we? Yes. Yasser, once you get, everything depends on your experience as to how you plan to train your stress, right? For me, I take a deep breath, or, whenever I want to train or tame my stress, that's a very good word that Mr. Malik has put in. I really like that word. What I really like about taming stress is you need to see how you can tame. For some people, it's just taking some time off and they come back and they deal with it. For me, give me like if I were to really tame my stress in a way that wherein I counteract the negative effects, give me just 2 hours. I just need to go unwind. I'll probably sip on a cup of coffee just 2 hours straight. I'm not going to think. Okay. Exercises and I go like I just roll up, right? I just roll up on. That is how you face it. If you're thinking, yes, calm and refresh, yes, a lot of people will ask you, how come you're never stressed? I mean, don't you have children? Oh, yes, I do. Don't you have a family? Yes, I do. Don't you have work? Yes, I do. Do you have in-laws? Yes, I do. Do you have parents and siblings? Yes, I do. Everything that you have, yes, even I do too. It's just how you cope with it. And always, I'm going to give you the best thing that we teachers always fail to do for ourselves. Okay. Oh, that is a very good strategy, Basma. You try to deal with one bit at a time. That is what I do too sometimes. It really depends on my situation also. See, everyone, we are actually sharing so many how to handle stress. Let's just speak out. Do you have, because it's Ramadan, okay, in Ramadan, since all of us over here are Muslims and we fast during Ramadan, we know that the Satan is behind the bars. If you're being nasty and if you're being rude, if anything that you're doing, it's not the Satan, but yourself. That's how the Satan trains you throughout the year to behave. So don't worry. So, high time to show that you are good and the Satan is bad, right? Okay, so what are the 3 things that you need to focus on when you are dealing with stress? Okay, A, B, C. That's it. A, B, C. In A, you should know awareness. What causes the stress? Internal, external, what is it? You need to identify. You really need to identify what is causing the stress. A lot of the people I speak to, regarding stress, they don't even know what's causing them stress. They're like, they just sit down and they go like, I'm just stressed. I'm just stressed. Tell me, what is stressing you out? Oh, and they're all over the place. You need to identify what is stressing you out. Is it family? Is it work? Is it something from within? Is it the thought process, right? And how are you reacting to that stress? Some people, they scream. Some people, they just unplug and they sit in a corner and they just don't want to talk to anybody. It really depends. For me, how I react to stress, I just keep quiet. If you ask me personally, I just keep quiet and I take it one bit at a time, like what Basma does. Okay. I prioritize. This one needs to be dealt first. This is giving me a headache. This one needs to be dealt second. This is giving me another headache. This one needs to be dealt with, etc., etc. Anything that's giving me a headache will be dealt with first and taken out of the way, just so I can relax for even an hour, even for 10 minutes. If I can get my mental peace, I'm going to do that. Is balance. Now, this is where I think a lot of us basically are having an issue. Okay, Yasser, that's a good thing that you're helping people solve their stress, but it's interesting. Okay, so what do we mean by balance? So there is the positive stress and the negative stress, and there's a fine line in the middle, right? Something happens, an external stressor or an internal stressor aggravates the stressors, and boom, the positive stress goes down, the negative stress goes up. So you have to bring it back. You should know what could help you feel happy, what can help you feel more normal. For me, it's a cup of coffee after making a lavish iftar, okay? And it's the third day of Ramadan, so obviously I made a lavish iftar for my family because now I have the energy, so I'm trying to spend that. So I decided to deliver the session outside my house because if I say indoors, I'm going to go crazy with my 2.5-year-old toddler. My teenagers, 17 and 15, are very sweet to me, but still. Okay, so for me, when the positive becomes slightly negative, I try to change my external environment. That works out for me. Sometimes that doesn't. So internally, what do? I watch a lot of self-help videos, some motivational videos. Okay, I try to watch a nice, funny movie if that helps. Okay, so you can always, hello IQ. Okay. Okay, all right. There's some people who really make you cry. Yes. Stress eating helps temporarily, huh? I stopped doing that, by the way, because stress eating would just give way to more eating and then more eating, and it has a negative impact. So I said, let me keep that. However, coffee is not bad. Ruba, beautiful. Speaking to Allah. Nobody can hear you as well and with such an open heart, like to your own Lord. I mean, spirituality basically helps you give that balance. I don't know. I'm not going to go really deep into that because this is a very personal aspect, I feel, when it comes to spirituality. But then if you are spiritual, it really helps. In Islam, we recite durood, we recite a lot of du'as that help us calm down, and that belief in the, in the powerful divine, that there is a powerful creator above you who is looking down to you and who's taking care of you. I mean, that male feeling makes you feel so nice that you can combat any of the world's problems. I mean, that's it. Okay, let's go to the C parts. The A, B, and C is what you can do to help combat the negative effects of stress. For me, it's always get away to somewhere, someplace. I try to change the place or talking with beloved ones. To have those beloved ones who can hear you out, amazing. And how I combat negative stress, I just surround myself with positive people, right? So they talk nice, they talk well. I just go and rant in front of my 17-year-old daughter. Poor thing, she hears me out. She gives me a hug and she says, Mama, you're going to be fine. You've done this for so long, for so many different people. I think you can do this. The fact that she says that, you think that you can do this, your children are also therapy. So you can find, I mean, you don't really need to go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist to do the therapy. You can do a lot of self-therapy as well. Okay, so let's look into the different personality types and the kind of stresses they might come across. So personality A. Now, don't worry if you don't fit into one kind of a personality type. I mean, their presence, oh, your younger son, I feel you, Basma. I have a 2.5-year-old, and the fact that their hearts are so pure and they are so genuine, it really melts. You just know that you can deal with 1,000 demons if 1,000 demons were right there in front of me, right? When you have that kind of power to combat that kind of stress, right? You can beat those 1,000 demons. That's how powerful. So you need to know what can actually nullify the effects of all the negative stresses in your life. I calm you down. Okay, I'm good. You're the strong mom, Basma. What do you call it? Same pinch, Basma. Same pinch. We're doing that. We're doing that. Oh, I also have a son-in-law on the way, so yeah. We'll talk about that way later. You can just PM me and we'll get in touch. So let's talk about the personality types. Although I'm not that old, though, people, if I'm talking about my son-in-law, it's just that they choose to marry early. That's it. Your source of oxygen, beautiful. See, the fact that you're writing such beautiful odes to your loved ones is a sign of how you know you can combat your stress. Okay, come on, this is becoming a therapy in itself, isn't it? Is it just me, or I feel more rejuvenated after looking at such beautiful responses and beautiful hearts and people agreeing to each other? I wish more people could join though, but there are people who are watching online. You can just make the most of it as well. So we've got type A personality who are active, energetic, they are impatient, they maintain high standards, always consider time as a problem, that it's never enough. Intolerant of those who may be slower in thought or action. Okay, I think it was Mr. Ahmed who was really talking about the low IQ, if I'm not wrong. So he's type A. So what kind of stresses do you come across? I think I'm having a feeling. I'm having a feeling of it's kind of collaboration now. Exactly, Basma. There you go. That's internal message. Type B, okay? If you are quiet, who very little worries about people, and you worry only about things that they can alter or control and leave it to the rest of the other kind of people. So type B people are more placid. They're more like relaxed in a way, right? Alpha personalities can really take. I think you met a few alpha personalities, Ron, when you were on your way to Jeddah, right? In one of the events. They do take your energy, but then that's the whole point. You don't let them, you don't give them the satisfaction of taking your energy, right? Your energy is yours. Why can't we be more selfish on retaining our energies? Okay. Right. Thumbs up to everybody who are handling everything very well. Type C. Type C are extremely nervous. They are extremely strong, not very confident of their self-ability, but they're always anxious about the future. I've had so many teacher trainees who actually, who actually fall into this category, and are also very anxious about being able to cope. Now, you must be wondering, how come I'm able to talk so much about stress when I'm mostly towards ELT? Just so you know, I've done my certification course in stress management and consultancy. So I'm also certified stress consultant, if something like that even exists, because that was a certification I took about like 10 years ago. And I've been using all the strategies in my life. It's okay. All of us are struggling, Basma. Same here. Same here. And we will always find outlets. For me, going to education events is like such a stress buster. I feel so rejuvenated, new ideas. I feel I'm around people who are very positive. That also matters. People you are around with. You need to surround yourself with the right people. If your work has quite a few toxic people on board, so you might want to consider having a community outside that is very productive, right? Okay, so All right, so type C, yes, we've got a couple of type Cs. Okay, type D are absolutely carefree, love variety. They're often athletic and daring. They are very little worried and they're not concerned about the future. Not being concerned about the future itself, I would honestly, I would want to have some kind of a foresight. I would, I would never fit into type B. Okay, type A, B, or C. I'm none of them. Let me tell you that. Neither am I type D. Part of it, I love variety though. I love being athletic. I love movement whenever and wherever. I do keep myself up with a lot of physical activities apart from just running around for conferences and workshops and being a mother, running behind my 2.5-year-old toddler at this age. I do feel that when I dance, it helps me actually lighten up, loosen up, and feel good. Yes, but I don't dance in public. I only like we've got bathroom singers. Yeah, I don't do bathroom singing, but I do some lonely room dancing, if that makes any sense. Yes, we need to support, we need to surround ourselves with people who support us. Absolutely. You cannot expect yourself to survive in a group of people. I mean, imagine I had a nightmare once. I don't know. It was so weird when you are the only living person amongst like 10 to 15 zombies. And when I got up from my sleep, I actually realized this is how the world is, right? You are that one living person who is trying to make the best out of everything. And you've got these zombies who are going to suck your energy, suck your time. Please make a note of this. They're zombies who are going to suck your energy, suck your time, drain the energy out of you, willing to suck everything else, right? So they're more like vampires. Yeah, they sound more like vampires, right? Yeah, vampires, zombies, yes. Yeah, we would want to definitely avoid those kind of people. So I think that was it is so funny. It was like a wake-up call. You know, I had this nightmare, but I got this wake-up call to actually keep myself away from those kind of people. SubhanAllah, sometimes, you know, the dreams, they have their own way of relaying messages, right? Type E, they are very dedicated and serious, very concerned about other people's opinion about them. Okay, I was this, the second part, but now I'm not. I kind of feel as long as you're doing some good, you're good to go. Do not take criticisms kindly. Okay, you're not very welcoming to feedback. The type E people, they tend to dwell on others' criticism of them for a long time. I've seen that, those kind of people too, and they distrust most people. So these are more a very different kind of personality types that we're coming across. Okay, type F, they're bored with their own company, they're sensitive to surroundings, rely on others a great deal, and do not respond to change easily. It happens. And type F people is what you will come across. Now, these personality types are the ones that give you stress, so don't worry. So you cannot be one of them. If you're exhibiting some of these traits, you might want to now change it to something very positive. That's it. Now, type G are meticulous. They're honest and like a set of routine. They do not like change, and any new problem throws them because there are no rules to follow. They're great believers in authority. So you've got all of these different personality types who give you stress. I'm sure people who give you stress have one or more different traits. If you find yourself in any of these categories, it's high time that we changed. Sometimes I have gone through all of them mostly, and I've realized that having all that negativity or having to think too much at any given point of time is only stressing me, and it is only causing harm to me. So I might not stress about something on which I do not have control on, and I do not seek to control anyone anyway. What I seek to control on is just myself and in keeping myself healthy. And by the way, I've been making that plan of hitting to the gym for since a year and a half. So please pray, all of you people who are online and offline, whoever hears or watches this YouTube video, please pray for me that I finally hit the gym. I really want to do that, just dress up and then hit the gym. So far, I'm doing, I have this really nice, garden area outside my house. So I just usually walk there, and I have a roundabout outside my house. It's a very clean area. I walk there, but I really want to hit the gym. So please. Okay. Right. So what do we do for a positive mindset that would reduce our stress? Right. Six pack, inshallah. Let's make I think Ramadan is the time to make the New Year resolutions. Forget about 2024. Okay. If you have not started working on your New Year resolutions for 2024, Ramadan is the time to actually make newer resolutions and put it up for the next year. So I told you we were going to have a light laugh. Okay. So what do we do to handle stress? Number one, avoid unnecessary stress. That's it. That's it. That's your way to go. Second, altering the situation. See what can change. If you can change, if you can't change, just leave it. You do not really have to stress on something you do not have a control on, right? Adapt to the stressors, yes, which is very important. If you're not able to adapt, the stressor adapts you. So you adapt to the stress. You make stress adapt to you. It's like on your conditions. On your conditions, you adapt the stress. Okay? The stressor does not get to adapt you on its conditions, right? That's how. Lately, what has been working for me, if there's something or someone that is giving me a hard time, I go like, you are going to do it this way? Watch me. Just watch me. That's the kind of look I actually put on. Except things that can't be changed, yes. You don't have to. Everything is in your hands. Everything is in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hands. So what do? We just go and pray. And pray to the Almighty to change things for you. And it works. And prayer during the tahajjud is the best. You want to change, the change happens there. Make time for fun and relaxation. Absolutely. Usually I've done in Ramadan, what I usually do is the last few nights, I get away from work. I try not to work, at least the last 3 nights. And the first 2 to 3 days of Eid, I try not to work, even though I do answer text messages, and I deal with course inquiries, I plan out everything. But I really unwind myself. I think this is the only time throughout the year where I actually unwind myself, the last few days of Ramadan, because I feel that kind of for me. And that is exactly what is going to help me function the remaining of the year. And adopt a healthy lifestyle. And it means, you know what? I was on a 6-shot cappuccino, say 4 years ago. I cut down. I came down to 3. Sometimes when I'm extremely stressed, 4, but I just don't go beyond that, right? So one step at a time. I mean, you don't have to go like, you know what, from tomorrow I'm going to start eating salads. That's not practical. Have good stuff and the not so good stuff, right? Just, you need to play the ABC rule. Be more aware, balance it out, and see, control. As long as you're following the ABC in your life, you are so good to go. Are we doing good on time? Okay, I'll finish this, and I'm going to just give you a very effective tool that has helped me combat stress. And if you don't know what is causing your stress in the first place, and this is a sample stressor diary that I started using a couple of years ago. Now I just mentally make a note of it. Now it works. Everything works like here in my head. However, if you haven't had a chance to actually explore this, I highly suggest that you do. Where just print this out. Okay, you can take a picture if you'd like. Okay, and then see the intensity of stress. What was the time of the day? From 1 to being very less to 10 to extremes. You can rate it. You can list the situation that caused you the stress. What were the symptoms you experienced? Some people are very sensitive. Palpitations, hard time breathing. Okay, the sweat. It really depends. For me, I did go to that extent where I was feeling all of this. And when I started feeling all of these different symptoms, I said, oh, there was a big moment for me, because it means that I'm going to my pathway to PTSD and high blood pressure. I didn't want that. I just took a break, took a day off. I know, personally, I know myself as a person, I cannot take for more than a day off, because I have a family behind me. I have work, I have commitments, I have promises, I have schedules. I need to honor all of those. I cannot just like break off from everything and leave, right? But I should know what would be a healthy downtime for me when I can really get away from things. If it means even half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour is all what you need for the day. Thank you so much, Dr. Ron, for posting that in the chat window. Yes. And what was the reaction to the stress was like, and how could you change that reaction or response to the better? So this template can probably help you understand why something was stressing you out in a certain day and how you can manage yourself. You are doing therapy yourself. You know what's exactly going wrong. Sometimes it might be, okay, let me tell you, it might not always be the situation. Sometimes it's the food. For me, yes, mental health needs to be taken very seriously. Yes. And I cannot stress this enough for educators. Educators by far face the worst burnout. I mean, especially at this time of the year. You know, when we are like midway and stuff is happening, life is happening, God, it is very difficult. But whatever it is, you have to come back. And you have to come back like a champion every single day. To come back like a champion every single day to your classroom, to your workplace, to anywhere. Even if you're not working, right? If you're back home, if you're sitting back at home, doesn't mean that it's not affecting you. It is affecting you big time. So you have to come back, and you're going to come with that mindset of, what is it I'm supposed to be doing today? What is it that I'm supposed to be combating? I'm up for it. I'm game. This is what I tell myself. I'm game. I do a lot of positive self-talk. That helps me stay on track. Sometimes I don't get sleep, maybe for 3 hours, because of the kind of work that I usually deal with on a corporate level. Sometimes there are tasks, you have a surprise audit. When all of that stuff happens, you need to know, you have to make sure you're making the best of every situation, right? So that's how you deal with everything. So positive mindset. Let's just quickly wrap up. Yes, Dr. Ron, is so important. We have to be kind to ourselves. If you're not kind to ourselves, nobody is going to be. Nobody is going to be kind to you. But trust me. Sometimes I don't even expect my close ones, my dear ones, to be very nice to me. Yes, if you in front of a mirror, on a prayer mat, on a prayer mat, even some people, they do it in front of a mirror. Yes, for me, it's on the prayer mat that I do a lot of self-talk. That is I just close the door. I need 5 minutes. How long does it take to pray 4 rakas? Okay, 3 rakas, 2 rakas. Now we have got the Tarawih prayer, so we've got multiple amounts of rakas. Sit on that prayer mat for 10 minutes. You know, just forget about everything. Those 10 minutes will set you up for the whole day the next day. Exactly. Yes. I don't get it, Mr. Ahmed. You said talk to yourself in a positive way, but fear if it replies to you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I get it what you mean. No. If somebody else is talking in the room and nobody's there, that is a serious business. Let's not talk about that anymore. Tip number 1, good nutrition and exercise. Let's wrap this up very nicely. Good nutrition and exercise. It's high time we really look after ourselves. You don't need to do those, what do you call it? The reps or the yoga or the cardio. Not now. Do what works for you. I picked something very simple, and that was dancing at my space. And then I just go out for a walk, smell Mother Nature, go smell the flowers, go out to the garden. That's it. That's all what you need. You don't need to make your life too complicated. The simpler your life is, the more beautiful it is. And laugh. Let us laugh, everybody. How about we unmute ourselves and laugh? Come on, I told you we would have a laughter session. I'm going to stop share. Let's unmute ourselves and laugh. Can we? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's very important. Laughing is very important because it releases the oxygen, brings down the stress level, right? Laugh more often, mute for no useless reason. Imagine, you cannot be in that case. Unmuting is disabled. Okay, it's okay. So you can laugh to yourself. As long as you're laughing to yourself, that's more than perfect for me because doing is more important than not doing it, right? So you can just keep laughing and laughing and laughing. That increases the blood flow. Even let me tell you a very scientific fact. If you've got a clog in your heart, la samahalla, sometimes you don't know that you have clogged arteries. You might just not know. Imagine just laughing a couple of minutes a day will help to, unclog those veins or arteries. Isn't that a miracle? That's such a beautiful miracle. So just laughing out of it. In fact, there is laughter therapy. Do you see? Just go on YouTube, type laughter therapy, and you will find a group of probably lunatics. I would not say lunatics, they're doing a great job, by the way. Every morning they just go and laugh for half an hour. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I don't laugh like that. I prefer to have a genuine laugh. I would rather laugh on my son spilling milk or him falling down from a bike and then giving me that look. I would rather laugh on that. I think as mothers, we get plenty of moments to laugh to ourselves. Be social, go network, go to your community, see where the teachers are gathering. If the teachers are not gathering, make your own circle. Make your own circle where you're radiating positivity, where you only invite positive people. Do a lot of volunteer work, volunteer for organizations, anything that makes you happy. That's very important. So number 4, know your stressor. We have done that. And manage stress at workplace. Tip number 5 is very difficult. I'm not going to really go into deep because every person has their own struggle. Sometimes there are people who compare workplaces and they go like, you know what, my workplace has more stress than yours. Like seriously. What entitles you to actually say that? I know the kind of stuff I go through at my workplace. It's fine. And that, oh yes, when you see that group of people, Mr. Malik, on laugh, doing the laughter therapies, you do find it so funny, and that you end up laughing. So technically, what are they doing? They're doing laughter therapy on you, and that is going to know your stressor and ignore it. See, you're making me laugh so much. The kind of input I'm having in the chat box is absolutely captivating and so interesting. Man, people who are not online on Zoom are missing this big time. If you would just read the chat comments, I'm enjoying myself as a speaker. So we manage your stress at workplace and you can see what you can do. I hope everybody's enjoying though. That's the most important thing because today, just come to unwind. Nothing technical. As much as I would love to talk about the discourse analysis, the ELT language strategies and curriculum and syllabus planning and all of that. We need this. Thank you so much, Mr. Malik. Thank you. Get enough sleep. By getting enough sleep means what works for you. For me, 5 hours, good to go. Anything more than 5 hours is vacation. For me, it's vacation if I sleep for more than 5 hours. But 5 hours is good for me. 3 hours, nah. I'm hardly keeping up with 2 REM cycles. So it's I can survive on it, but then it's not something I would do every single day. And if you have to sleep to a sleep schedule, yes, and sleep at night, please. At night, when you sleep, your body releases a melatonin that again helps you put down your stress. It's a note to me as well because I'm awake usually half of the night. So And in Ramadan, okay, let's make this rule as an exception in Ramadan. Ramadan, maybe you're not sleeping at night, and relax your body and mind. So for that, so what do teachers need in that case? We need training, we need mentoring, the three REMs, and I'm jiffy. Oh, good for you, Yasser. Good for you. For me, three REMs I can survive. A fourth REM is heaven, definitely. So you've got the motivation, you've got the advice, the success. So it's very important for you to be surrounded by a positive energy, by people who are always going to push you to do your best. For some, their mentors are their parents, for some husbands, for some friends, for some colleagues. Just keep them close is all what you need. Last and but not the least. Okay, I'm wrapping this up, Mr. Muhammad. Don't worry about that. Believe in yourself. Yes, it's going back to the positive mindset, right? So instead of thinking, I'm not good at this, let's think, what do I need to learn to get better? Instead of saying it's good enough, can we just say, can I do better? Challenge yourself. Instead of saying, I give up, why don't we just say, let me just try this differently? Instead of saying, I don't know how to do it, let's just say, I can learn. Instead of saying, I'm afraid of mistakes, let's just say, mistakes help me learn and grow. Instead of saying it so hard, let's say, all I need is practice to improve. Instead of thinking others are better than me, this is for many of us out there. Instead of thinking others are better than me, you can say, I can learn from them. SubhanAllah. That just changes the dynamics. I don't think I'll ever, now I see a lot of teachers falling into this category. So I need them to be saying, I am confident. Okay, this one is the last one. No, yes, this one is the last one. Let me just, I've got a lot of slides, I think, and we've done a lot of talking. It depends on what makes you happy. For some people, money makes them happy, and I don't blame them. It's a material thing. It can make you happy temporarily, yes. But in the end, it's the mental health that counts. Money can buy you drugs, money can buy you big places, but then if here you're not okay, how do you expect to be okay here? Right? So that's the whole thing. Money does, I mean, it depends. Money can buy you things that are comfortable for you to live. So teachers with high motivation. So when you've got the right mindset, when you're able to combat your stresses, you always I always see teachers with high motivation who always show interest. They're striving to do more. They're engaged. They're more focused, connected. They make connections and they are confident and they're very secure. Remember, teachers with high motivation are never insecure. I've never seen them because they believe in collaboration together, collaborating stuff together. So think about it. In Ramadan, plan your PD journey. The next 3 months, what do you intend to do? We've got the Africa Alta coming up in Cairo. If you're interested, I'm coming. Will you be there? Let's see. Okay, now this PPT I made it during the COVID time, so we were having Zoom fatigue. So now I think we are pretty much over it. How do you combat your stress? Put down your goals, daily goals. 2, more than enough. Weekly goals, 4, more than enough. Monthly goals, 3, big ones. Okay, yearly, give them time, but something that's growing on an ongoing basis. So next year, I intend to attend the IATEFL conference. Yes, why? Because it's in my favorite city, Edinburgh. One. I'm also eyeing on TESOL International, because it is taking place in California. Too tempting. Collaborative tasks that you would do together in a team, with your partner, something that allows you to delegate work, right? Just so you just don't end up doing everything by yourself, right? So that's exactly what we are talking about. Except this, if you're adapting to stressors, this is the thing. You accept the life of trial and error, right? Life is all about that, experimenting. That is, and you do a lot of trial and error when you do not have the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, it becomes a lot more easier. Last, I swear, I promise this is the last. Reward yourself. Always try to form your own PLN. Yes, professional learning network, people who will push you, right? It might be a very small circle, but let it be. At the same time, reward yourself. I try to reward myself every 2 days if that works, every week if that works. Be it a treat to a coffee or a new kind of dessert I was looking forward to, maybe a restaurant, a snack, um, a spa treatment, okay? A spa,
Pakistani restaurant.
yes, Pakistani restaurant. Yes, you have to reward yourself. That is so important. That makes you now. We always talk about having the when do you have the most burnout when you're not rewarding yourself. Go reward yourself, even if it means
Yes.
getting a
Spend all
manicure.
the money that you have on your happiness.
Well, we can't do that.
You can do that, but at the same time, I believe in feasible short-term rewards. I mean, my rewards should not be done in an exorbitant way. I wouldn't lavishly spend on a Gucci bag. No, I would just go and look into the smallest sources of happiness. Going to the sea, for example, sitting down, having some ice cream, reflecting on myself. That is my reward. Rewards should be something that you can do in a very inexpensive way. That makes sure that you are doing it again and again and again and again. If you just treat yourself like, oh my God, I'm getting myself a new iPhone and that's my reward. And the next time you want to reward yourself, you don't find anything. I'm like, duh, there should be something.
Mhm. You know,
Who's more happy?
I have a teachers group that I meet. We meet twice a month at the university, and it's just people who are all teachers, and we
Mhm.
meet for breakfast and we talk and whatever. Now,
Oh,
it's supposed to be a personal learning network, but we wind up talking
mm,
about other things, which is great because we have that
absolutely.
support group, and it's great to have that. So,
Absolutely.
personal learning networks can be a great way to deal with stress sometimes because you're around
Yes.
people who are positive and and listen sometimes because sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Absolutely. And you just need a pat on the back and say, you know what? It's okay. You will do it. You can do it. Come with the heart,
Mm,
but
mm,
let's just do it differently. Let's just do it together. Right? So we're
mhm.
looking into this. So again, Dr. Ram, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for the wonderful participation. I absolutely love it. Man, this was my therapy. This session was my therapy. So these are my contact details. If ever you need to get in touch with me, this is my email, fatmaali@masterenglishtraining.com. My phone number, since I live in Saudi, +966 500 552 385. I hope I don't sound like a radio host, but then that is it from me. Thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad, for having me over. Hope all of us we enjoyed. Thank you so much, Ruba. Ruba is my student. Yasir is my student.
Well,
It's
thanks
nice
a lot,
seeing you again, Fatma.
Nice
it was
seeing you
really
too.
wonderful. Yeah, some useful tips and pieces of advice on how to avoid stress and manage the stress that we face every day in our jobs.
Mhm.
And a wonderful contribution, as usual, from Dr. Ron Rain. Yeah, the international guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I would just like to say one last thing about stress is real. It's there. We're not going to be able to avoid it. So you can't run away from it. It's going to get us in a lot of parts of our lives. And I think Malik or somebody said, how do you really deal with it? You know, I was having a conversation with Fatma on my last day, on the last few hours, as she was taking me back to the airport. And we were talking about that. And it starts in our home. It starts there. your home has to be a safe place. It has to be a place that you want to relax in and feel comfortable in. And this is why I was telling Fatima, I don't let anybody in my house who's going to bring negative spirits to me because I don't need that in my private
I
life.
agree.
I don't want that in my family. I don't want that around me. And it's your home that you know got to work on first. But if you get that right and you create that positive feeling about you, people can see that in you.
Yeah.
And usually that kind of positive aura that you carry around with you is a way to make those kind of people go away, because they'll stay away from you if they think
Yeah.
that you are have positive energy. So you're going to always carry that and just believe that, you know, of course, you know, I always pray a lot of times, and I was telling Fatma sometimes I don't realize that I'm praying out loud, and the people think that I'm crazy. But you know, sometimes I just, you know, it's quiet time is very important, and we got to have our quiet time too. So try to make a little bit of quiet time for yourself. I do every day. Muhammad already knows that. That usually after we talk, I got to take my nap. I need my quiet time. You know, so I take a nap every day. That's the Mediterranean in me. So anyway, Mohammed, thanks a lot for making these days in Ramadan where we can meet. Uh, you know, it's wonderful. We can all come and share and just, you know, learn something. And learning doesn't always have to be about what goes on in the classroom, but like Fatma talked about today, a reality of dealing with stress. Thank you again, Fatma, for coming. And
Thank you
Yeah,
so
I know
much.
that I'm going to be speaking this coming weekend. Yep.
you're speaking next Sunday at 9 p.m. Cairo time, 8 p.m.
German
German
time
time,
and
10
10
p.m.
p.m. in
10 p.m.
Saudi time.
Yeah, KSA time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So everyone, we're looking forward to seeing you there next Sunday, and thanks for joining us today. I hope that
Yes.
you enjoyed our session, and actually the session is already recorded on YouTube. You can find it there. Yeah, so thanks again for joining us. Thanks, Fatima. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, everyone.
Pleasure. Thank
Yeah,
you.
see you next Sunday, and goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.